D-Train, what in the world, dude? What in the world is going on in your world, dog? Why in the hell, D-Train? What in the world? See, I have to do a mic check. Excuse me. Skimmer. Yeah, man. So I was just thinking, man. I was like, because I was thinking back, right, over my life, and I'm trying to figure out if I gravitated towards what I wanted to be, or if what I wanted to be, or what I was supposed to be, gravitated or is gravitating towards me. Goodness gracious, man. Ain't that a thought? I mean, isn't it worth giving some thought? I mean, what did you think you wanted to be? Are you close to being that, or are you there? Or are you something else that you had no idea that you were going to be that, but you're awesome at it? Man, I remember growing up, man. I uh I used to always find myself around the funny kids. I was quiet as a church mouse, dude. I was always listening. I was always like, "Oh man, that was funny. That was good the way he did." You know what? It's almost like I was a wordsmith or idea smith. If I can, I'm gonna coin that phrase. I'm an idea smith. You heard it here first, damn it. I'm an idea smith. Where did that idea come from? I just did a video on flamethrowers, you know. And at a certain point in my I guess in my development or in my life or in my, journey, if I may, I found myself kind of alienating myself from a certain group of people who, when I grew up with them, man, they were just the most awesome people, and I just love those memories of those people. And I'd come to be a little bit different from them over time, having had a lot of distance, not much interaction. And but I remember early, like the energy of those people. Oh my gosh, man. I'm talking about elementary school, fourth, fifth grade, third, second, third, fourth, fifth grade, man. 8, 9, 10 years old. It was always just the funny ones. And they were it was just like in school, um, on the bus home. You had the high school and middle school kids, playing tunk in the back. You listening to the jibber jabber. They going back and they going back and forth. You know, they weren't afraid of offending you either. They didn't mess with me too much, but each other. They didn't offend you to the point. Hopefully that you got really pissed off. It was just they would just rib you, and it wasn't like bullying. It was just that was what they did, and you kind of like you kind of me. I was kind of like the kid that was studying and stuff, so they probably didn't know I was listening, and if they did, it was just like, he smiled, he laughed. But I always find myself around, in that type of energy. I remember then in high school, it was just the people I would talk to would always challenge you, and they would make a joke, and I admired the way they crafted it, or crafted a thought. I remember one guy, in high school said, "Hey, Dontrez, why don't you join the debate team?" I thought about it, and then I realized you had to read a lot of news and stuff. You had to keep up with like current events. I was like, nah, later with all that. But I look back and I'm just like, man, maybe I had a knack for it. You know, you always had those certain opportunities that you think back and you say, wow, man, I let that one go away. But, that's not what I'm talking about right now. Sometimes, well, maybe that is what I'm talking about. Hell, that gravitated towards me, maybe because maybe that energy was seen, recognized. That's what, see, it happens just like that. Boom, and there it went. This is live. Those synapses just fired. I mean, they fired before I thought about it. But the overall point is this, like, what do you find yourself around a lot, right? I went off to college. Oh man. I had the best. You know what? I've just been blessed or lucky or just had the good yin yang balance, dude. Cause I had the best roommates in college, all of them. I had the best friends, best associates, best affiliates, best team in the country to be around. I've been blessed with being around just the best of the best of people. And so, you know, I don't know what that says about me trying to gravitate towards. I don't know if I was trying to gravitate. Maybe I was funneled that way. I don't know. I can't even say. How do I know if I was the one that did it? Maybe somebody else had a hand in it. Not to get all poetical. But you have to ask yourself, man, goodness, man. Back to my suite mates and my roommates. My roommates were awesome, but my suite mates were equally awesome because they were always talking shit. Always. I didn't start swearing until like my sophomore year. I had the same roommate and suite mate. And one of my suite mates, man, he was just a sailor in a dorm room. He had the mouth and he had the wit. He was quick. He's probably still quick. I just don't see that, just diminishing it at all. And that dude, my roommate, he was always quick with it. Oh my goodness. It was just always them two. And I was just like, wow, man, these guys just don't stop. Just ongoing all the time. And I'm like, oh, okay, I would have said this. And then you insert your own thing. But I always found myself around those type of people. And I was always the listener, the quiet one. And then, and oh, I mean, the master of all. When I moved down here, I lived with my grandfather, Lurcell. That is the master. And then the second master, you got my dad. Are you kidding me? But their style, and then I got my mom's side. Oh my gosh. My mom's side of the family. Woo. So with my dad's side and my mom's side, just coming up, just living in the house with them, number one. I mean, you talking about ideas floating. You know, if it was thought, you probably heard it. and it wasn't that much holding back. So over time, I believe what I learned was when to hold back. Because my dad always said, you don't have to say everything, you know. So over time, you learn what. Like again, still, I'm a listener, and I'm listening to my dad, the second master. I'm listening to all my cousins. Oh my gosh, you talking about Kiki, Fat Man, Pat, Devon, my brother. Oh my gosh, sisters, my sisters. Oh my gosh, see, you can't hit them. They your little sisters. You know what I'm saying? But they were quick. They still are. Goodness gracious, it's just all around you. And then, so what? So what do? You're supposed to be a doctor, and I got all of this experience in my back pocket, people talking shit all around me. I guess I'm I guess I done figured it out. I don't know. Maybe it figured me out. Maybe this ain't what it is. I don't know. But I have a show that I conduct every week, and I love it, and it seems to love me. And now I'm venturing out into other stuff too. So along some of the same lines, and it's different, but what are you gravitating towards? I've met a lot of people online on this YouTube thing here, and I'm listening to what they're saying about what they're doing and how they're motivated into doing what they want to do. My homeboy Carlos John, he's out there trying to get his, thing together with the paramedic type thing, emergency care. I'm like, wow. I would not. I mean, I used to be pre-med, right? I got my biology major and I got my chemistry minor from UNC Chapel Hill. Okay. And I made a decision that, in my junior year that wasn't the line I wanted to go in, but I finished my major out. But I knew I didn't want to go into medicine anymore for some reason. And, maybe I could get into it one day. But, I look at that and I'm like, wow, if you wanted to help and you were a doctor, there's a market out there for you to just, hey, at least be able to take care of your kids. Here's this class right here. Learn how to do this. I could have done that. But I guess it wasn't what I was gravitating towards at that time. And so, I admire that. Who knows? My story's not finished being written. That I might take his idea. I'm like, yo, Carlos, man, I'm gonna take that and I'm gonna steal it and do it down here in North Carolina. But what are you gravitating towards, or what does it seem like is gravitating towards you? And is it productive? Is it helping? Is it helping the situation of, whatever? I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with that. Who knows what motivates other people, but wow, that's a thought right there, man. And it's too early, man. Ain't even, I guess it is 12. Anyway, that's my time. Peace. This is D Train. That wasn't no bunk. That was like no bunk. It was just a thought. How about that? Later.